Well, we're ready to kick off our trading day here, and we will take an opening look here at our grain trade right off the bat. Let's see how the corn is opening up here in Chicago. Well, on the corn board, we are down a penny on the March contract at $3.50 On the soybean trade here this morning, we have that March contract down 3/4, trading at $9.70 per bushel there. And on the wheat trade in the early going, we have the Chicago March down a penny and a half at $4.29 Kansas City March this morning is now trading at $4.34 3/4. We're down 2 3/4 cents again. In Minneapolis wheat, we're starting out the day on the March 4 lower at $6.22 3/4. And on the cotton trade this morning, we have March opening up 37 higher at 78.38. Let's go to the phone and welcome Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors in Franklin, Kentucky. What are you looking for here this week, Dewey?
Well, I'll tell you, Marlon, the only thing I'm really looking for, trade would just like to get the crop report that is due out on Friday. Get that out of the way. You're going to have nothing but just some position squaring going into it. Once that's out, it's done, it's history. Then we'll start looking and talking a little bit more about planting intentions this spring. That's really about all there is.
Okay. Other than that, do you see any big movers this week ahead of that report at all?
Probably not a great deal. The pullback on both corn, beans, and wheat from the recent highs looks like a correction. So we'll just see maybe just a couple of days or so of consolidation going into the report.
All right. Money flow with all the stock market moves last week. Do you think that'll change our investment in commodities early this year?
It will later this year. Early this year, probably not. The market, still is moving up higher. We're down a little bit today. It's probably going to need some smelling salts before it's all over with and done. But I still look for about a 7 to 11 week pullback and then a 10-week rally to the final high, and then the stock market will be done.
All right. Well, thanks, Dewey. We'll come back in a moment and we'll examine our livestock trade. In fact, we are opening up the Dow about 30 points weaker this morning, in case you're wondering. We'll be back with Dewey Strickler after this. Wow, the dollar 370 points higher in the early going this morning on the nearby March futures. Let's take a look at our cattle market. How are we opening up here on a Monday morning? Let's go to Chicago and find out. Well, on the CME Group, we have the February live cattle 77 lower at 118.35. We have April down 63 right now at 120.22. And on the feeder cattle side, we have that January contract down 37 at 146.25. March 68 lower at 141.30 per hundredweight. And on the lean hogs, well, we have the February contract up $1.12 at 72.55. And you have April up 80 cents at 76.88. That February really chopping around. They're already 90 cents off its earlier high this morning. We have Dewey Strickler standing by of AgWatch Market Advisors. So with the big grain reports coming up on Friday, what's the livestock trade going to focus on?
Well, I think the livestock trade is just going to focus on trying to get by unscathed this week, because we're coming back down into, especially the cattle, into some very strong support areas here. We had a horrible day Friday, and we're starting off a little bit ugly here today as well. But I more or less look for the cattle market to see a little bit of downtime, maybe see a break back until about the 114, 115 area basis of your February contract.
Wholesale beef cuts were strong again, though, Friday afternoon. Is that going to support the market and keep it from falling out of bed?
Hasn't done it so far.
Not yet. In fact, we can take a look at those in case you're wondering on the wholesale beef cutouts from Friday afternoon. The choice cuts were actually 84 cents higher Friday afternoon, and USDA reported the select cuts up $1.46, and they were quoted at $202.32, or $202.37. They were well above the $200 mark. So anyway, Dewey, thank you for opening up the trade for us here on a Monday. Appreciate that very much. Dewey Strickler is with AgWatch Market Advisors. He is based in Franklin, Kentucky. And Janet, we're off and running.
Boy, are we ever. Not only here, but also elsewhere today.
Yes, a lot going on.
Thank you, Marlon.